Herb, what's today's weather forecast?
Let's see, it's early morning snow, turning to afternoon snow, with evening snow flurries and snow drifts.
All right. Isn't there any sunshine around here?
Well, sure. Turn on Beakman.
Oh.
Hat. A 10-gallon hat only holds 3/4 of a gallon. Yahoo! I'm Beakman, and you've just broken into Beakman's World. Beakman!
Heel! Attaboy, Sparky.
Lester, there's no dog at the end of this leash.
Of course there is. Sparky is a vanished in thin air there.
Hi, gang. Oh! Well, hello there, Sparky.
What's that, Sparky? I got it right here.
Okay, Liza, my question to you is... Do we have a question?
Indeed we do. Velvet Hooser of Claypool, Arizona, wants to know, what is the deal with sharks?
Oh, smooth question, Velvet. Let's get swimming.
Hey, kid! Stay in the shallow end!
Do you know there are about 350 different kinds of sharks? The smallest shark in the world is... the spined pygmy shark.
Hi there.
Fully grown, it's about 10 inches long. Small enough to fit in your hands. And the Shaquille of sharks is... the whale shark. Wow! 40 feet long and weighing as much as 32,000 pounds. That's more than 20 helicopters.
Whoa, man. I'd hate to be around when that guppy's got the munchies.
Don't worry your pretty little head about it, Lester. He wouldn't hurt any of your fleas.
Aquatically accurate, Liza. Whale shark feeds on tiny sea creatures called plankton. People, even guys in rat suits, aren't on its diet.
In fact, only 32 out of 350 species of sharks have been positively identified as having attacked humans or boats.
You know, you sure know what's shaking when it comes to sharks. I got a question for you. Which shark is the most dangerous of them all?
I'll bite.
Answer. The great white shark, which can grow to more than 20 feet long and weigh more than 6,000 pounds. The great white's favorite food is seals.
It's very rare that great white sharks attack people, but lots of sharks definitely have the choppers for it. Obogoscope. A shark's teeth are its weapons for catching, killing, and eating food, and they wear out very quickly. That's why sharks have rows and rows of replacement teeth, ready to go in there and start biting. One species, the nurse shark, grows a completely new set of teeth every 8 days. Ooh, that's one nurse I wouldn't want a sponge bath from. You know what else is fascinating? The great white shark never stops moving. That's because most sharks have to swim continuously. The motion of swimming keeps their blood circulating.
Beakman, that was a fine kettle of fish facts, but we can't hold out any longer. We gotta give them their money's worth.
Then let's take a look at a real shark.
Don't tell me we actually
Have a shark!
right here.
Stand back and behold the denizen of the deep, the scallywag of the seas, the berserker of the briny, the leopard shark.
You call this a shark? Oh, Oh, I'm scared. My knees are knocking. A man-eater? Why, this fraud couldn't eat a mouse.
I told you before, Lester. Only a few sharks are dangerous to people, and a leopard shark is not one of them.
This little fella is harmless to us, but not to clams, shrimp, fish eggs, and octopuses.
One of the most amazing things about sharks is the way they find their food. Better eating through electricity.
Oh, my. You mean they make their mackerel in the microwave?
No, but nice use of alliteration. All creatures, including people, give off a small amount of electrical energy. Unlike people, sharks can detect very tiny amounts of electrical energy as small as 100 millionth of a volt. And once they home in, there's no running away because sharks can swim up to 43 miles per hour. Speaking of fish food, you'll be interested to know, young Lester, that many people consider the meat of a leopard shark a delicacy.
Ahoy! I bet it tastes like chicken of the sea. Hey, name that tuna. Whoa! I'm a soul man. I need food, and I need it now.
When sharks are feeding in a group, they sometimes become so excited that they snap wildly at their food. This is known as a feeding frenzy. Sharks in a feeding frenzy may bite and even kill other feeding sharks.
This guy ought to thank his lucky stars he doesn't have a cream filling.
So, Velvet Hooser of Claypool AZ, now you're swimming with shark facts from under the sea.
Coming up next, a fork in the road leads to a greasy spoon. We'll be bouncing back exactly after this.
Beakman's World will be back after these messages. And now, back to Beakman's World.
Fasten your seatbelts.
It's time to clap your thinking cap. Here he is, the gondolier of gonzos, the skipper of skillfulness, the Tom Cat of the sit and chat, the one, the only, the Beakman.
You crunch 'em, I'll munch 'em. Let's Lindy.
When I say he's lying, I mean he's lying.
This one's from Ricky Fairstrait of East Wenatchee, Washington. Dear Beakman, how do you get your hair to stay up there through the whole show?
Answer? Spackle. And plenty of it. Ha-ha! Fast fact. A human body can last about 4 minutes without oxygen. 4 or 5 days without water and 2 months without food.
The human body can go 2 months without food?
That's inhuman. Thank goodness we're penguins.
Question! How many peanuts go into a pound of peanut butter?
Easy. A pound.
Real answer? It takes about 720 peanuts to make a pound of peanut butter.
You're a real nut too, Beakman.
But it takes a heap of living to make a house a home, and if that home is made of peanuts, hey, forget about it.
Question! Do female elephants have tusks?
Answer? Female African elephants have tusks. Female Indian elephants do not.
Question!
Hello! You know what that music means.
We were forced to sublet the Bangoli's House of Pasta?
Not this month. It means it's time for
Cooking with Art, where you learn how to cook up some tasty science experiments with stuff you can find right in your own kitchen. Here's your host, the always appetizing Art Burns.
Yo, and especially yo. Welcome to my humble commode. Today, I'm gonna teach yous how to make a bouncing egg, so yous never again have to lose an egg dust to those galoots who don't watch the show.
All right, I'll have an egg.
Give it to me raw!
Thank you. A jar.
Oh, jar, baby!
And a side of vinegar.
Oh, on the side! Yes!
Thank you.
Listen, you'll do everything on the menu just like we do. We'll do them with a grown-up, and you'll be extra careful. There are no substitutions, and remember, no shirt, no shoes, no service.
All right, the bouncing egg. First, find an egg. You can feel around under a chicken, but only if you know it real well. Better yet, get one out of the fridge. Now you gotta fill your jar with vinegar. Put your egg in there, screw on the top, and leave it around for about 4 days. An eggshell is hard because it is loaded with minerals. Vinegar, acetic acid to us culinary professionals, chemically reacts with the shell of the egg, stripping away minerals and leaving the once hard egg a rubbery shell of its former self. I just so happened to have gotten one of these started last week between fumigations. Voila, the bouncing egg. Oopsie daisy, wrong egg. Eggs a la art, working. Now, here is the real egg. Voila again. Oh, by the way, whenever you touch a raw egg, make sure you wash your hands real careful like afterwards, like I do. Yeah, sure. Okay, the bouncing egg. And there you got it. Another week of art. Until next time, this is Einstein saying...
Ow!
Yo, get out of my kitchen.
Coming up next, one of the biggest and the brightest, Mr. Albert Einstein. He'll give Beakman some hair care tips after this.
Beakman's World will be back in a flash. And now, back to Beakman's World.
Liza, you got a question for me, please?
Here's an eye-opener.
From Derek Hickman of Milford, Nevada. He writes, Dear Beakman, ooh, what does E equals MC squared mean?
Let's find out from the man who came up with it. That's right, folks. We got him for you. The German genius. The American answer man. The guy you least want to hear introduced as the other contestant on Jeopardy. My own personal hero, Professor Albert the Superbrain Einstein. What do you want? I was just about to bluff Socrates in a game of Crazy Eights.
Professor Einstein, it's a thrill to meet you. Now, what the heck does E equals MC squared mean?
My special theory of relativity.
Why is it special? Does it come with raisins?
Raisins? Ach, funny. You know, I tried to warn them about atomic energy, but did they listen? No, never mind. Forget it. Goodbye. So, here's the concept. E stands for energy.
Energy is the capacity to do work, to move stuff.
Right. M stands for mass.
Mass is stuff or matter.
And C, that stands for the speed of light.
That's
And
186,000 miles per second.
Hey, that's right, Boobala. Hey.
Why didn't you have S stand for the speed of light?
You know what? I'm gonna let you two schmendricks figure that out. Yeah, good luck. Anyway, C squared is the speed of light multiplied by by the speed of light. Big number. Now, before I came along, people thought that energy was energy, matter was matter, and that was that. But through lots of deep thought, the kind that would give him the bends, I figured out that energy and matter are two sides of the same coin. A coin I like to call Matter-G. Hey, and get this. If you could change matter or stuff into energy, boy, would you get a whole lot of energy.
Oh, snappy stunt, Al. But the only time energy matters to me is when I can increase my mass.
You know something, you moronic ignorant mouse? If we could change this corned beef sandwich to energy, which we really can't do, my equation would tell us how much energy we would get. So, let's see. 1 pound of corned beef times 186,000 times 186,000 again. Carry the mustard, hold the pickle, hold the lettuce.
So what would you get?
You'd get a lot of bang for your beef there, Bobby. You'd have enough energy to power every city in America for 5 days. You could drive a car around the world 180,000 times for a trip. You could run a room air conditioner for 500,000 years.
So E equals MC squared tells us how much energy you can get from stuff if you could convert that stuff into energy.
And that's relativity. Okay, thank you.
Well, you know, Mousy, that's not the whole story. To understand more, you really have to answer me this question. Right now, are you moving or are you standing still?
This is some deep thinking. Standing still.
Wrong as usual. Go on, beat it, vamos, Graham. Allow me to illustrate. Actually, you are moving quite quickly. Here you are standing on the Earth, which is spinning. And since the Earth orbits the sun at thousands of miles per hour, so do you. But when you look at each other, it looks like you're standing still because you're both moving in the same direction at the same speed.
I get it. We're not moving relative to each other, but to someone watching from outer space, we're actually moving pretty fast.
Very good, Gotchkiller. You know, in the great scheme of the universe, nothing is standing still. All things are moving relative to each other. Hence the term relativity. It all depends on your point of view. Oi. Say we're in a car and it's tooling down the highway. We look out, we see another car traveling in the same direction at the same speed. Our eyes tell us that that car isn't moving at all. That's because, relative to our car, it isn't. But say we stop for a burger. The other car hasn't changed its speed at all. But now it's going 55 miles per hour relative to us. There's one thing whose speed is not relative to anything else. And that thing is light.
The speed of light remains the same everywhere in the universe.
As long as it's in a vacuum-like space. No matter where you measure it from, or how fast you're moving when you measure it, the speed of light is constant.
Constant! That's the C in E equals MC squared.
You know, you're a bright girl. Lose the rodent, you got a big future ahead of you. All right, see you later. Bye. So, Derek Heckman of Milford, Nebraska, if we want to convert matter to energy, E equals MC squared tells us how much energy we would get. And thanks for thinking we matter enough to use your energy to send us a great question. Yeah.
There really is a kind of time machine that lets you look into the past. Want to know what it is? We'll move through time and be be back with the answer after this.
Beakman's World must now take a beaker break. And now, back to Beakman's World.
A telescope is a kind of time machine because it lets you look into the past. Remember, light travels at 186,000 miles per second.
That's almost 670 million miles an hour.
But most stars are so far away, it takes their light hundreds or even thousands of years to reach our eyes here on Earth. So, when you wish upon a star, chances are you're seeing that star as it looked many years ago.
Well, Beak, does that mean the wish won't come true? Because I'm looking at you, my star, and wishing we could go to lunch.
Your wish is granted.
All right.
See you next time.
On Beakman's World.
Don, what are you doing with that wig?
Well, it's an Einstein wig, and it's going to make me smarter.
Yeah, well, you have to be smart enough to put it on your head.
Oh, well, it's all relative.
Well, I'm glad you're not a relative of mine.
Not even remotely?
Speaking of that, take the remotely and turn off Beakman.
Beakman!